Fake deals behind closed doors, promises broken. In their income source, hidden agendas run the grand parade. In the circus, choose a masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line. Television screens, bright and loud. Sell your dreams, make you proud. Pop the bubble, see the cage you're in. Start the revolution, let the truth begin. Wake up, they're feeding lies. Control the media's got you hypnotized. Trust authority, they'll take your soul. Break the chains, find your own control.
Welcome, everyone, for today's episode. I'm here with, can I say your full name?
MLD's fine.
Oh, well. Anyways, MLD of Modern Life Dating, the world-renowned high-performance coach for dudes, right? Yes. He spent over a decade empowering thousands of ambitious men, entrepreneurs, leaders to excel in finance, fitness, interpersonal dynamics. His innovative philosophy on the pillars of money, muscles, game, and frame have won him a global following and sold out events. So welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me. That was a very kind introduction.
Yes, I'm a very kind person. So, yes.
I was just going to say, I'm tuning in live. It's 9 a.m. here in Tokyo, Japan. It is freezing cold. For some reason, our coldest days this winter are in March. So I'm waking up and I'm happy to be here. I'm watching everything in the markets burn right now. And so waking up early.
I mean, as long as, did you put on a shirt today? No?
No, I am wearing the robe.
Okay. So
I figured we're on your channel. So we're
very
take
professional.
It easy.
Very
We're
professional.
Taking it easy, right?
Alrighty. So I'm going to ask you some questions about your background first.
Okay. Be as judgmental as possible, so I could really win over your fans.
Okay. So let's start with easy things. What inspired you to start your channel?
You know, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just can't stop. You know, you ever see Mean Girls? I'm a pusher, Katie. I push people. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I do it, but I just have this internal desire to help lift guys up, because the state of men right now is just atrocious. It's so bad. The average guy is down so bad right now. And I'm just trying to figure out. Actually, I have a general thesis of why we are here in this certain, point of time. But I just want to level guys up and, make the world a better place. You just feel called to do something. I tried to quit this. I don't know if I've already told you. I tried to quit this in 2017, but like all I could think about was, getting back and doing this. And I wasn't even making money at that time. I just felt something made me feel like I was called to do this. And I was making big money, doing very well. I was working at a Fortune 100 company in Tokyo. They were the official sponsor of the 2020 Olympics in Japan as well. And this is the company I was working for. I wasn't working for some ragtag company, but something was like pulling me and guiding me to do this. And this is before I had made any money. The business was making net negative for at that time. That was 2017. So yeah, it was making net negative for 2.5 years in a row right there. But I just couldn't give up.
How many years did it take? 2.5 years before you started making anything? 4.
I started in 2015. So 15, 16, 17 and 18. 18, I started to make a couple $100. But then 2019 is when we had the gigantic explosion. And then it just compounded from there. And from then, that's when my life was totally changed, radically changed. And like never, I set out to make $15,000 with the business. Like, God, I was praying. I was like, God, if I could just make 15,000, I will never call myself a loser again. I will be grateful. It was, I honestly, and I started in 2019, I started in a position of desperation. It was not like a position of authority or empowerment or whatever. It was just like, this has got to work. Like, I don't know what has been pulling me, driving me, forcing me to do this, but I felt like internally tortured if I didn't do this. Isn't that weird? I really feel like to a degree it was a spiritual thing. I know I don't really talk about that often, but yeah, I felt
No, I see that. I see that. I feel the same way about like health stuff. I was
really.
talking about this stuff before, even 2020, and nobody bat an eyelash. It was like totally fine. And then that's when everybody started fighting back. You can't say that. You can't go against. Rah, rah, rah. So
Mhm.
I know what it's like. But why money, muscles, game, and frame? Why not just focus on one? Why do you have to do all four?
Because look at all the guys you like. Look at all the guys that are popular. Look at all the guys that are desirable across the board. You know, this comes from me speaking from a position of experience, right? Because I had just gone through my life. And the thing is, I was just realizing that I didn't really realize, I would say until I was like 28, 29. I didn't realize how bad guys were with women. I thought every guy could get dates. I thought every guy like had girls chasing after them. I thought every guy was like, having as much fun in the dating. You can. What are we going PG here? What's the rating of your channel?
Uh, R.
Oh, okay. I was like, I was wanting to, you know, have,
Bang.
yeah, I was having a lot of promiscuous fun,
Yes. Okay.
and I think the biggest thing for me too, because there was a point where I was like lost and trying to figure out some things. And I remember looking for help online, and all I kept on running into were like these literal scammers and like with the most crappy background stories as lies. I remember I got on a call with this one Indian guy. He called himself Magic. He was Magic the PUA. It's Indian PUA. And he was like, yeah, if you just give me $10,000, I guarantee I'll make sure that you get the results. But then I see him dressing like a buffoon, running around like a dork. And I was like, dude, you're a nerd. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, you are a nerd. You do not look cool. You look like an Indian nerd. And I don't want to be like you. And then I started reeling in all these people, and I realized like all these people don't know what they're talking about. Because I believe that the natural path for a man and woman to be the most happy is when a man is the leader and guider and the one in control of the relationships, right? Because I think in my history, every time I've seen a woman who's in control of her relationship, she's miserable and she's typically looking for another guy to lead her around because, it's stressful for women to be in charge. They don't want to be in charge. They want to find a guy that they can be with and kind of turn their brain off and, just be happy in the moment right there. And I see all these nerds, like, oh, do you believe in magic? And ask him all this dumb PUA stuff. And I was just like, I don't care if you can hook up with a girl, but do you have the ability to like have a woman be so in love with you because of who you are and like follow you and help you along the way? I was like, that was my measuring stick for success. And that happened to me often. I've every relationship, I've always been the leader. I'm not one of these guys who's like, I was a virgin until I was 27. Then I read The Rational Male and like, no, 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 no. That's not me. So, that's just kind of when I saw. Then I just realized, like, oh my God, so many guys are not like doing this. And the more I talked about it, the more I just loved to help people. And, it's grown into something. It's literally has grown into a global movement now that I have been at the forefront of with some of these other guys.
So when you interact with these guys and your audience and everything, have you ever found out that they need different content than you thought they would need and you had to adjust?
Yeah, I didn't realize. I thought coming out I could give like this intricate high level stuff, and these guys are like, should I brush my teeth every day?
Is that
some
real?
of them some of them are, yeah. Some of these guys are
I've
really
heard stories from girls, but I have never been
Mm,
close enough to know.
yeah. The rabbit hole is deep and wide. And yeah, then we have all ranges of people. That's another thing I realized. There's different ranges of people who need help,
Mhm.
And yeah, it's just dudes are down bad. Dudes are down bad. It's so bad. And I have a theory since we're on your channel.
Mhm.
Let's go a
Let's
little
go.
conspiracy
Conspiracy. Let's
theory.
go. It's the
Yeah.
Illuminati.
I'm trying to figure out, why do all the women in America are getting like deeper and deeper voices and
I
becoming more
know.
masculine, and why are the men becoming more feminine? Like there's an inverse correlation here.
I know.
What
I
is it?
figured it
Is it
out.
astrazine?
No. It is single moms.
Oh, go on.
Because single moms raise their daughters like men and their
Mhm.
sons like kind of like surrogate husband like infantile babies,
De
perpetual infants.
facto husband is what I call them. The de
Yeah.
facto husband.
So cuz like I remember like my mom was a single mom. I was like a dude, like, "Oh, you're 18, get out of the house." And I was like,
Mm.
"What? What's going on?"
Mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
then it's like for my little brother, it's like, "Oh, my child. Oh, you can never leave." And then it's like, "Did you eat? Did you do?" And I'm like, she never asked if I ate. She never asked to see my homework. She never like went to graduate, like nothing, no interest at all. But
Mm.
everything the little boy does, it's like, oh my gosh, my baby.
And how's he doing now?
He left and he bought a house. He's good, but it was a constant fight against her. And I had to be in the middle, like, you have to leave him alone, leave him alone. My husband's like, leave him alone. Don't ask him if he eats anymore. Don't get in his stuff. Don't,
Mm.
whatever. It's just like it's enough.
How old is he
I
now?
think like 28. I don't know.
Oh, wow. He's significantly younger than you.
Yeah. Like I was
Wow.
out of the house and he was born.
Wow, wow, wow. I see. I see. Very interesting.
Hmm. So I see that with him. I had an ex-boyfriend once. His mom was like a witch.
Oh, no.
She was in a loveless marriage. Like he would tell me like they never kissed. They never hugged. They never like if he brushed against her, she would shudder like and just get angry.
Oh.
Like severely messed up people. And she hated me. Like didn't know who I was, walked in, hi, how are you? No, immediately hates me to the point where like she like eventually I'm like, this isn't worth it. Like I'm not gonna have, kids with this guy and that's the other grandma and have to deal with this dynamic forever. And it's like weird. And she would do things like write little notes like from his ex-girlfriend, like your so and so, your ex-girlfriend called, put like hearts around it and leave the note like really big. So I would see it like to start trouble,
Mhm.
like sinister stuff to try to break us up because nobody was good enough for him but her. You know what I mean? As
Yeah,
if
that's funny you mention it. I know somebody like that. Like, mommy breaks up with all his girlfriends for him. She's not good enough for you. She's not good enough for you. This one's not good enough for you. And he's too dumb. He doesn't have enough EQ and intelligence and game to understand that, like, your mom is sabotaging you, and he doesn't have the balls to stand up to her because he doesn't want to hurt her feelings. But then he ends up alone, and her plan is complete. Like, he's completely isolated. You know, And here we are at the ripe age of 39,
Oh gosh.
single and ready to mingle. All, it's amazing. I talked about it yesterday. I had a pretty hardcore episode
Yeah.
talking about like the biggest thing that I've noticed that causes men to be failing in their dating life. And the
Mhm.
number one is if they live at home with mommy and daddy, but more so if they live at home with a single mother. They
Mhm.
all look the same: bald,
Mhm.
overweight and or obese, beard, glasses, feminized, not really driven to take action, not really, not really trying to, make any kind of change in their life. Just, mommy just neuters them,
Mhm.
neuters them.
And
And
I haven't figured out why they push the women, the daughters, to be like men and kick them out of the house. And I've
mhm,
seen this so many times. Like they get jealous of them if they
mhm,
get attention because I guess because they're kind of single too,
yeah.
right? Because so then it becomes like competition, which is really weird.
Mhm,
There's a lot of weird stuff going on when the woman, the mother, is unhappy.
right. Absolutely. Absolutely. They do try to I think it's like a projection of the hatred of themselves, you know? They are pushing really hard for the daughter to like, just get it together, like harsh to them. And then they feel bad for the son, but because I think they also want a man. So they're like kind of like, nice to
Well, that's like the one man that they're going to try to get not leave them.
yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
Yep.
It's funny too. Like, what did they say? I saw that one meme.
Hmm.
Why do these single mothers always dress their sons like the men that left them? Have you seen that?
No.
Ah. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, I see that. What else other than the single mom thing? Is there something else that you see a lot?
That honestly is the biggest culprit.
Mm,
Is the single like a woman? I had a woman disagree with me in the comment section the other day, as they do on YouTube.
nice.
She was telling me, and I want to ask you because you're a mother,
Yeah.
right? She was saying women can raise men to be masculine just as well as a man can raise a boy to be masculine.
Impossible.
Impossible. Could you elaborate why as a mother?
I don't have a son, so I don't have to worry about that. But it has to be like with the dad. I don't even look. I don't think women can raise daughters by themselves. I'm just gonna say that they can't raise anything by themselves. After age 7, it's kind of like if your work is done, give it to the dad.
Interesting. Interesting.
Everything that made me a good person is my dad.
Mm. Hmm.
Period.
Hmm.
If I listen to my mom and be like, just go for, she has like women are a little more looser with what they'll do. My dad's like never accept money from a man, never be alone or whatever. No, do this. Don't, like very strict rules and reasons why. It wasn't just don't do this and then you go let me rebel. It was because this will happen because they'll do this and that and the other and whatever. And look how they treat these people different than these people and how this girl gets dresses and she get treated like this and when she's young she'll have this but when she's old she'll have nothing. And it was
Hmm.
like drilled into my head. My mom would just be like whoever looks hot or whoever has money and like doesn't think past anything and
Mm.
just like go have fun, live your life. Like it's just what are you talking about?
Yeah, enjoy yourself, right?
Yeah, just live your life. And like if I didn't have my dad, imagine. Wow.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that's why I'm very much grateful. But I know that a lot of people have either no dad or they have like these weak beta dads that are like, they'll literally tell their daughters, I don't want to know. That's none of my business what you do, honey.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you mean?
It's totally your business as your parent. That's your number one, directive is like, what are your kids doing? You know? I think it's a lot harder when the father's not present for the daughters than it is the men.
And I think it's
Because
equal.
I don't know, because I never met my dad. My
Did you have
mom, it was
anyone like a man?
uh we had a stepdad for a little bit, but
Mhm,
so I'll tell you the difference between me and my sister.
mhm,
So I'm 39. My sister is now, she was born in 88. So
mhm.
she's what, 37? Um, we have two fathers that are different from us. My father met my mom when he was 48. She was 18. He got her pregnant, and then he left when she had me. She was 19 when she had me, right? And it is what it is. Then he died when I was 15. I never met him. I saw a picture of him. That's about it, right? My sister met her dad. He stayed with us for a little bit, but she is like to this day blaming my mom for her childhood. Like, you didn't love me, and dad wasn't, I never met my dad, and blah blah blah.
Mhm.
And it seems to be really hard on her. Like, I just like, you don't know what you don't have, right? So for me, I
Mhm.
wasn't really like, "Oh, mom, I hate you." I never met my dad. I was just like, I was just always determined on just being successful and winning. I don't know. Maybe it's because I like wasn't loved by my father. Like Freud says, if you weren't loved, if what does he said? He said, sons, or fatherless sons always overcompensate by working hard to prove themselves that they are worthy of their father's love. That did you know Freud said that?
No.
Yeah. So maybe that's why I'm an overachiever. But for me, the big thing was I just grew up. We grew up a little like I grew up initially. We had money, we had stuff. My mom was married to my brother's father, different guy, and we had some stability for a little bit. We had a big house. We were living in Homestead before it was a ghetto. Um, it was a nice little spot. But then we got taken out of that big house. We lost everything. Um, and then I lived on the outskirts of the zoning of like one of the richest schools in Orlando, Florida. I used to live in Winter Park area, like on the
Mhm,
zoning. And I
mhm.
went to Winter Park High School. And it was like all these rich white kids, like, you're 16, you get a brand new BMW, brand new Mercedes. And I'm like, happy if we have like half a gallon of orange juice at home. That was like the highlight of my life if we had orange juice in the fridge. And so I just kind of like would go to school and be like, I don't get it. Like, why do all these people have a happy family? Parents are together. They're all wearing Abercrombie and Fitch. I'm can't even barely afford American Eagle. Like, what? Like the low rise jeans were all the rage, and I was just like, why do they get to have all this stuff? They get to eat Chick-fil-A. They're also pretty and good looking and happy. And like, why do I have to go home and like be poor? And that really just like, possessed me to be like, I will do whatever it takes to not live like this shit that my mom has given us and to be rich like all these, white people. It's funny because I'm half white, but like I always just thought because my mom is from Trinidad. So I saw all these like, brown people raising me, and I was just like, why do the white people always have good stuff? Like, and I didn't realize like I'm half white myself. And it's funny, all my white friends like, you're white, aren't you? You're a white guy. But I just always think like, why? And I kind of made it about race a little bit. I was like, why am I not good enough? Why do they have it and I don't? And it just kind of became something I was really aware of, like from 15 years old and onward. And you just kind of I was just became obsessed. So I really didn't sit around and feel sorry for myself, or I don't have a dad, or wah wah wah. I was just like, how can I get money and how can I level up? And that was just like my big focus of my life.
What did your mom do differently that you think? Because obviously she wasn't like, "Did you eat, sweetheart? Did you do this,
Mm.
sweetheart? Did you do that? Or stay with me. You don't have to go outside." She wasn't like that clearly.
Not as much. She had bouts of it. I linked up. Well, so good. The saving grace was I went to church, so I had like a community, and this was like in the early 2000s when every guy wasn't like a raging, you know, estrogen laden person. I was gonna say my
Mm-hmm.
favorite word, but I'm not gonna say it on your channel.
Oh God.
You know, these guys have
Yes, yes.
the rainbow F word problem.
Oh
They're the
jeez.
average guy. But this guy was like, he was kind of like he was like a little Chad. And he was like making out with all the girls in church and like, you know, but I didn't know. He kept it secret from me. But like he was like teaching me like how to dress, how to be cool, how to be masculine. And he was just kind of like this natural alpha type of guy. Um, and I think that was my saving grace because I hung out with this guy a lot. And he was really cool. He taught me a lot. And I think that was it. Because I did have a big shift when I was like 15, 16. And thank God for that. That was really something. Because like I learned, you know, directly from a guy who like now that I look back on it was like, you know, like a little alpha Chad guy. All the girls loved him. They're all chasing after him. You know, he had tattoos, he was jacked, you know, drove a cool car. And yeah, the girls were just like, they just loved this guy. And he always loved hanging out with me. And he, you know, he taught me a lot. I think that was my saving grace, you know. I was popular in church and I was like experienced being like, you know, contextual alpha for that youth church. I always won a lot of the competitions. They had like these acting competitions and stuff. It was like everybody in church did it. We won the state level and then we won the national level. And when I was 2002, so like that gave me a taste of like victory and greatness and working hard for something and overcoming adversity at a young age. I was 16. And then I got on stage, like, you know, I won, and there was like, you know, 7,000 people clapping for us and watching us in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 2002. So that kind of like gave me a taste of like, you know, achievement and executing at a higher level, which I think was kind of like a saving grace for me too. You know, I went to Africa when I was with the church too, when I was like 15 and saw hopelessness and saw like death at a young age. And you know, it really just like I got red pilled on the truth about life pretty quickly across the board, you know, from 15, 16, 17 onwards.
So let's talk about game a little bit.
Let's.
Because I know some guys that have a lot of money. They
Mhm,
still don't have girls. They have to pay.
mhm.
And I
Sad.
think game is the one thing that people don't really focus on. They think if they have the muscles and they have the money, that's it. That's all they need. No, I'm sorry. Frame. Frame is what actually I think it's a combo. You have to
Mhm,
get the girl and then you have to keep her with the frame.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
So tell me about how those two work.
Game is the ability to. So I think game is broken down into 3 categories: no girls, no game.
Mhm.
You get the girl, you can sleep with her, whatever, but then she runs away because she gets tired of you. That's level 2. Most guys get stuck there. And number 3 is the girls that stay with you, that you hook up with, like they want to stick around. They see there's potential with you. And it's not because of what you own, you know, it's just because, you know, they feel a sense of emotional security with a guy who is driven, who has a plan. You know, women want to be with a man who has a plan. They don't want to be with like a guy who's like a reed in the wind, like blowing from side to side, you
Mhm.
know. Um, so I think like when you have game, you know, frame is in the sense of establishing boundaries, establishing goals, and establishing standards for yourself that you want to live with your life. You know, I believe every man should live a purpose-driven life. You shouldn't just be like, oh, I'm just going to work my job and kind of drink beer on the weekends and play some sports. And, you know,
Mhm.
like, I think the average woman is just not really attracted to that. Like, they want to be with a guy who has like a desire to conquer and achieve, to do something with his life. And, you know, I think game is step one to get that. But without frame, without self-esteem, without boundaries, sticking up for yourself, like nothing matters. Doesn't matter how much status you have, how much money you have, how much muscles you have, how much game you have. If you cannot stand up for yourself, and I think that's the number one thing guys are looking or women are looking for right now with guys. Women are looking for a guy with a backbone, which is so rare in my opinion. What would you say? You think I'm out of touch?
No. I think that's true because if you can control him, that means everybody can control him.
Right.
And that means you're not safe to have kids with him.
Right. Yeah.
And that's basically all it comes down to, biology.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then these guys are just, like so easily swayed and manipulated. Like, don't you like low key hate it when you try to manipulate your man and you get away with it from sometimes? You're like, come on, I thought you were better than that. Like, you falling for these tricks, you know?
It's hard to manipulate him. Yes.
Good.
It's very hard. But I notice when I try, he'll just say no and then just leave. And I'm just like, what? But low key, I respect it at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever do it just to get shot down, just to be like, okay, all right?
I mean, unconsciously, we all do it. I think all chicks do that just to see, like,
Really?
he's still there.
Mm.
We can't help it. And it's not conscious. I don't feel like it's conscious.
I see. Yeah, you gotta like. I just like. I don't know. Every girl that I ever met that's like, I want to do things my way. Like, they never have their life in better standing than me. First of all, it's pretty hard in general, but they don't have their life in better standing than me. Their personal life, their finances, their mental health, I've never really met a chick that has her, her bearings on straighter than me. Now, I mean, that could be for me to say with men too, but I do know a lot of high performing guys that that I'm surrounding myself with. But for me, I just think, like, if you're going to try and tell me to do something, you better be better than me in that department. You know what I mean? I just think naturally men should be leaders and women should be the ones that are the helpers, the supporters, the followers in every sense of the word.
See, when you talk like that, now you piss off all the feminists.
I don't care. I mean, they're complete jokes. Like, feminism's legacy is a total joke. It's a total joke. Like, the state of women who embrace feminism right now is a total joke. It is, you are fat, you are miserable, you are unhappy, you are now the unhappiest person alive. That's what they say. Feminists now, like liberal white women, are literally the most unhappiest people alive.
Unhappiest on the most antidepressants, anxiety, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just feel like when you say it like that, or when other people say it like that, then they get triggered. They're like, whatever. But at the end of the day, do you really want to lead? Because that's the other option. Because they don't think of they think, I can lead. They don't go, I have to lead a man.
Yeah.
If they just thought of that part, they'd be like, oh, wait, I don't want to do that. I don't want to lead this dude. I want someone who's got it figured out. I don't want to have to, like, mother him. I want to mother the children, not the man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's like, what are we doing here? Right? Because if I'm going to let somebody lead me, your life better be better than mine in general, or directly in that department. And I've just asked them, I says, okay, you want to lead? Where are you leading me? Where is your big picture? Like, really can't have a woman, like, you can't send a man to a woman and be like, hey, can you man up my son? Can you, like, level him up to be more manly? Like, where are you going to lead me? Where are you going to guide me? I don't believe that personally.
Mm-hmm. And trust me, we all try. Because I remember when I was younger, everybody was males. All the guys were they started becoming feminists. So they were very male feminists, very, like, whatever. And they started expecting, like, telling the women, you have to make 100. This is a million years ago. So imagine 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was like, you're incredibly wealthy back then. Like 30, 40 years ago, that was, you're rich at 100,000. And the guys would be like, I can't marry anyone unless they make at least 100,000. I'm like, you're a dude. but they would say these things, and they would also say things like, oh, you're strong, independent. I don't have to help you pick up that or build this or open your car door or like anything. So they were just very, very feminized. They were very much like, you do everything yourself. So then you're kind of like, as a woman, you're kind of like, what is your purpose? If I still have to make all the money too, and I have to, do everything, and you're not even being chivalrous or kind or like anything, then it's like, well, what is the point? And that's what male feminists end up doing. Like, they end up pushing the women away, and then the female feminists end up pushing the good men away, and then everybody's unhappy.
Unhappiness is truly the big component there. I don't know. I look at everything now and I'm like, how is everybody so stupid?
They all fell for it.
Yeah, maybe because we are older now. You're 48, I'm 39. We're up here. But like, I see these new younger guys, and they are just such pussies.
Broken.
It is amazing how soft these guys are. And I look at the data for like jobs and stuff, and there is a massive need for people in the trades. There's a massive need of people in the industries here in America. A lot of the industries, blue collar and all. And these guys don't want to, like, I shake these guys' hands and their hands are like soft, like a woman's.
Isn't that creepy?
It's very, very weird. When I, what my first thing goes when I shake a guy a hand like that, I don't know why, but I think to myself, is this guy like a pedophile or something? Like, it just like, it goes to the worst possible spot. I'm like, why are your hands so soft? Like, what is going on? Like, how easy has your life been?
That's kind of funny, because I always because I was raised by a single mom, I had to do everything myself. My hands are rough, like what a man should be, from climbing fences, climbing trees, because I had to walk everywhere, because my mom's like, I'm not gonna go pick you up, take the bus, whatever, and it's like 50 blocks here or whatever, and I'm just running around doing everything by myself, and like I still have the calluses still.
Oh boy.
It's just like, so, and I have a lot of female friends that they have the same problem, because the same situation, because we were trained to be men, and the sons are soft in every way, buttery soft little boys.
Why do you think that is happening? Why are guys getting soft? And then what are your actually, let's skip that, because we could talk about that for your single girlfriends. What are their number one complaints about men? Because there's a woman I'm talking to right now, right? She's like you, she's 50, and she is a smoke show. She's so hot, and she's 50. She's like, really, she's fucking hot, and she's determined, and she's driven. She has a tight body. She's a smoke show, and like, but she's just telling me, she's like, I cannot believe how much the average guy is just such a pussy. And she's from New Jersey, so she's a pretty strong personality. But she's gorgeous. She's stunning. And she's just saying, like, the guys, her biggest complaints, these guys are total pussies. She's like, these guys are just the biggest pussies I've ever seen in a very long time.
Okay, because you got to look at it from the point of view of like the super hot dudes that meet all the requirements. Because these women that look like that woman, they are looking to settle down, right? Not to be one of 50. So a guy will settle for a lesser tier woman if he can have multiple of them, and he'll just ride out his days like that. Why would he pick one? So like the top tier guys that all the chicks want will never get married or settle down, because they have no incentives to.
They really don't.
And then like the top tier women, they don't want that situation, because they're like, I work too hard to look like this. I want someone who's on my level. Mentally, let's say, even forget the finances, or at least physically, or some sort of stimulation. And
Mhm.
everybody else is like a soft mama's boy in the
Mhm.
basement. What do you like? So if you're a woman, you look at that and you're like, I don't want to be one of 50. So that's disgusting. No. And then you go, I don't want to be with this guy that I can't respect. Like, I would get so fed up with him after a while. I don't want to break up a family to be with someone that I just don't respect at all. So then
Mhm.
you get depressed and you start popping all those pills. And then you're like 50, 60, and it hasn't happened yet. You have no kids, no family. So now it's more pills, more pills. And then you have to go on vacations everywhere and travel to forget about the fact that all the men are soft.
Yep.
And there we go.
I've noticed that these girls, I've talked to 2 different women over the years, very attractive women, very, very, very attractive women. The one that we were talking about off the air, she's one of them, right? But the thing is, the problem is, it's women making this problem for other women, because all the women are chasing the guys at the top. And so for me, like, I'm 39, I don't see any slowdown. And actually, the girls are getting hotter and younger. I don't see a slowdown in, what I'm able to attract. And it's because these girls are just willing to, because these girls have no standards. They have no frame. That's the truth. They will get treated like dog crap by these top tier guys, and they'll just take it. And then instead of lowering her standards, her delusional standards, which should be lowered anyways, lowering standards, getting with a guy that'll stick with her and building something, and choosing to be happy with that person, they don't want to do that. And so they just rack up bodies. And now you're 37, now you're 38, now you're 39, now you're 40 and single. And who really is trying to lock down a 40-year-old single woman?
Weird people. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I see that, and I feel bad for everybody, but at the same time, a lot of these women, they don't have fathers to tell them how to act so that they get good men who want to be fathers too.
Mhm.
Because most men nowadays, they're addicted to corn on the internet. They don't want a family. They don't have that goal, and they don't even care. They don't care about kids. They don't want a family. They don't want any of that stuff. You talk to the average guy, they're just like, I just want, to get a lot of girls, and I just want, my freedom, and that's it. Like, that's the end goal for them, is literally just to be that guy with his little harem, and they're happy like that. But there's very little guys that actually want a family now. It's the other thing. Like, it's just weird because they don't come from good families. So they don't believe that they can create something that they've never seen with their eyes, and so few examples. There's nothing in media.
Mhm.
They got rid of that.
Yeah.
You only see the negative stuff pushed online. You'll never see the happy couples, the happy people. It's always like the scandalous stuff that happens.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Like, that's one thing I've noticed in American dramas and American television. It's always conflict,
Yeah.
divorce, conflict. And I don't know why they put that on the TVs, because you're just going to spread that.
You know why?
Are
Because
we?
what you see, you become. What you focus on, you create.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch that stuff, this is now your reality. You've just told your unconscious mind, this is what you can expect from the world. And that's what you'll recreate. And it's programming. That's why it's called a program. So that's why I stopped watching TV in like 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And now when I kind of look at things, somebody's like, look at this. I'm just like, no, this is it's trying to get you to do this, trying to get you. And I can't enjoy it. I can't do it. And I ruin it for everybody else. That's why I get on the internet. So I don't ruin television for other people. If they want to live in that, it's fine. But I can't do it. Once you wake up to it and you're like, wait a minute, they could have easily showed us happy people This is the other thing. There's no example of how to have healthy communication with discourse. There's nothing like that online between couples. So it's always like, oh, they did something you don't like, leave them, girl, or leave him. There's more chicks out there. You don't need that. But it's never like, okay, we have a family. Let's sit down and talk about this and work towards a goal as a unit. That doesn't happen. It's
I have a question for you that's going to either skyrocket my respect for you or make it plummet. What do you
okay.
want to hear it?
Sure. Okay.
Have you watched Game of Thrones?
Yes. Sorry.
I gotta go.
That wasn't that before 2020.
I don't care. Anything normies tell me they like. I'm like,
I never
it's
saw
a
Breaking
knee-jerk-
Bad. If that means anything. Or what's the other ones that people
Breaking
like?
Bad is based though because it's about drug dealing. Game of Thrones is like liberal gayness in the past that didn't exist. you know? And no, not my cup of tea. But based a drug dealer, I am on board. But yeah, anything that the normies like, I'm like, or have you watched Hunger Games?
My kid wanted to watch the first one.
Don't blame it on your child. Yeah, the normie stuff is repulsive. It really is. So yeah, I don't know. Just looking at everything, it's wild. Why do you do your podcast? Why do you get on here? What's like the goal? What's the big goal here?
I'm supposed to interview you. My goal is
with the channel, with your direction of your everything,
I started because I had health problems and I needed to talk to experts for free. And then after I would do the interview, I would show them my labs and they'd give me free advice. So I did that for 4 years. And I loved that. And then I felt like I knew pretty much everything that everybody was repeating information. So now I'm like, I just want to have fun. And I'll like figure it out. But I still do health stuff, interviews every now and then, but only if it's somebody that like I'm interested in. Before was like all the time, just fill the slots.
Do you approve of RFK eating steak shake?
No, of course not. Of course not.
Was it steak and shake? Steak and shake, right?
It doesn't matter whatever it is. No, I don't.
They're made with beef tallow now, though.
It doesn't help. No.
It doesn't help at all?
No, because you have to go 10 steps deep for that. The fries in this country are getting tons of heavy metal because our soil is depleted. So they're just like fertilizing it and putting chemicals and pesticides, and the soil is so depleted that it's like full of heavy metals. Because you have to do, things like crop rotations. You need animals on the land. You can't just use glyphosate everywhere. Like everything they've done destroyed the whole our whole food system. So like have a potato from this place just because the tallow is there is not going to save you from what's in the potato. It's so bad. Like if you come to the US, you have to go and find yourself a farm. You're not going to a grocery store.
So you think the potatoes are cooked?
Yes.
Really? It's because of the lack of nutrients in the ground?
Yes. There's no nutrients. Like what was it? Like something like an orange in the 70s, one orange had some vitamin C. Now to get that same, maybe you need 30, 40, 50 oranges. By that time, you got diabetes.
So what are we going to do?
Point? You have to grow your own food. And I don't know how to do it. I keep trying and failing.
Maybe if you had a father.
I do.
I'm just joking. I know, I'm just being a dick. Oh, man. That is funny. Interesting. Yeah, we got a lot to work. Are you optimistic for AI?
Oh, I love AI. I mean, maybe it takes over the world. Maybe it kills us all. Who knows? But for right now, I can use it to put in all my labs, my genetic code, my anything, any supplements, the exact supplements, and say like, how do I tweak this for this problem? And this, put 50 different things that you want to do. I want to be this weight by this day. Tell me exactly what supplements, what time to eat, what to eat, which is exact exercises to do. It's like down to I have my little cheat sheet. This is what I do every 15 minutes. It tells me what supplement to take, what exercises to do, blah, 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 blah. It is amazing. Now, with all of that, how many people are going to do it still?
Close to zero.
Exactly. So the good thing, let's say something positive first. The good thing is there's so little competition to be like a high value human.
That's what
it's never been this easy. When I was young, I was like bottom of the barrel, because look, I'm short. I'm, you used to have to be blonde to be attractive. You used to have like a very like narrow, slim body. I have a butt, so that was like out immediately. So I had all these things. So nobody looked at me when I was a kid. But now I'm just not morbidly obese. I won. That's how easy. That's how low the bar is. Which is sad.
It is, but I think, yeah, I just think it's an interesting predicament we seem to be finding ourselves in. But for I have been saying it for the longest time, like, you've never had less competition, because the thing is, I did like I said, I've been doing a lot of cross-referencing of data within my coaching data set. So I have 5,110 people that I've coached roughly between 2019 and now. And the biggest things that I know between the guys who fail and the guys who don't is, one, good parents versus broken, divorced, whatever. It's amazing how parents can screw you up. And then two is, laziness. Because look, you could say a lot of things about me, but could you call me lazy? And do you think I'm a lazy guy?
No.
Right. You can't say that, because I'll quit this interview right now.
No, I used to say I was lazy, but then I realized, no, I just try to get the same result with the least amount of steps. That's just smarter.
That's efficiency.
It's just efficiency. Just because I have more free time because I did everything faster than you doesn't make me lazy. Yeah,
that's exactly what I work hard for my free time. So that's what I'm looking forward to on a daily basis. The reason I work so hard now is because I'm trying to structure my life, because I'm going to be 40 in December. You know that feel likes, right?
No.
Yeah, you do.
I stopped celebrating at 25, so.
I just want to get to a position where, my personal goals now, if I can have hands off $15,000 a month net profit coming in, I'm very happy. I can just do whatever I want. I want as least problems and stress in my life right now. That's why I know you make fun of me and you call me homosexual, but I want a Tesla, because it's no spark plugs, no oil change, no transmission fluid, no
longevity.
I'm ready to die. It's all good. But I just don't want to deal with it. And I just want to, I have, the house is situated, I'm going to put solar panels on the house. It's on well water. I want to be completely self-sufficient as possible. I want to charge my Tesla through the sun. I don't want to see neighbors or see anybody. I just want to live my life in peace. I want to drive to the beach, get a nice little chair, sit there, eat some gummies from time to time, and just stare into the ocean and come home and talk about my thoughts on my podcast. And that's what I want to do. Continue to help guys out. You know what my big dream is, Kat? I don't think I've ever told you this. My big dream is to have a kind of like a transformation house, and one in every state. And we bring the guys in and we like run boot camps year round. And we have like these command centers where we like rehabilitate guys from being fat, from being broke, from not having understanding of women, just like treat it like a college curriculum and like try to, churn and burn, get them out, in and out, even if we have to do weekends, but it's just not fast enough. That's only 4 times a month. Like, we are so understaffed and outgunned with the amount of dudes out there that are just totally ruin everything. Because the reason why everybody complains about the dating marketplace, but the number one person who's ruining the dating marketplace right now is men. It's not women. Men are the ones ruining it. Men are the ones simping. Men are the ones gassing these chicks up. These women have all this confidence because of men. And now, thank God that the MGTOW movement, the black pill movement, stuff like that, guys are starting to like not do that as much as they used to. But I think the guys that are doing it, they're doing it to an even more extreme level now. Like I think simps are becoming more simpy and base dudes are becoming even more based. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think if we can just bring a general state of awareness to the average guy, which I think we did do with the community and everything. And, I think that's something we can continue to move, because we've moved that down the, how can I say, we moved that down the field, if you will, if you use a football analogy. Like I think a lot more guys are, simp, alpha, beta are like now like red pill mainstream terminology, versus back in the day it wasn't like that. So I do think we're making progress. And then the only reason we're being the thing is now the final frontier that these guys are using against us is shadow banning, censorship, shadow banning. But I just don't think that that's going to last much longer. People are becoming more and more aware of it. People hate it. Anything that you're tied to taking people's freedom away, freedom of discovery, freedom of movement, freedom of choice, people are not happy with that. And you can't unred pill somebody, whether it be about the vaccine, COVID, whatever, women, relationships, all that. You can't unred pill somebody. Once they're in, they're in.
Yeah. So everybody already knows now what's going on with that stuff. I think for the most part, if you're like half awake, you already know. But now their new tactic is, well, if we, come against something, like cancel someone's finances, or do something so they can't work, or so they can't bank, or they can't do this or that, then that might be like the next thing. But I feel like it's already too late. Like, if you have to get to that point, you've already lost. It's just a matter of time. I remember like my mom would tell me in Cuba, like before it became communist, it got to the point where they would you had to put your child in the public education system, and they would they would put your kid aside and say that you will be a hero. Look at this statue for a kid that turns in his parents, and he's a hero forever. And like they parade him around, like, whatever. And all the kids would be like, wow, he's rich and famous and successful and has monuments towards him for ratting out his parents that they were against communism. So like they would brainwash them to got to the point where the parents were afraid to say anything to the children. But I don't think that can happen now. There's a huge homeschooling movement, more than I think in my whole lifetime. There hasn't been this many women who are like, I'm going to cut down my hours or stop working and homeschool, because they're not going to be doing this.
Yeah, I just think, that's why that's just a little bit of a pushback there, because they want to shut down the Department of Education. But like, I can't even believe, like, do you remember when we were kids, they had the food pyramid?
Yeah. Before that, I'm older than that. We had the 4 food groups.
Yeah. Could you imagine right now, as a grown woman, won't say your age, 48. Could you imagine sitting down and eating 6 to 11 servings of rice, pasta, and grains every day, like the food pyramid said to do? 6 to 11 servings a day.
That's the good part about my mom not feeding me, is that I could never do that. Like, she's like, I'm not going to get you that much food. Like, too bad.
11 cups of rice, 11 slices of bread, 11 servings of pasta every day. Crazy. I knew that was crazy when I was like, I'm gonna eat 6 cups of rice. Like, that just sounds crazy, you know? So
It does. And even as a child, I'm like, this is wrong, because we knew about tribal people that would just eat fish or,
mhm.
like animals, and that was it. And they seemed way better off.
6 cups of rice, 2 cups for breakfast, 2 cups for lunch, 2 cups for dinner. That is a lot of rice. That's like what? That's like 600 grams roughly, right? Even if yeah, that's roughly 600 grams a day. You're a bodybuilder.
Mhm.
You're
Mhm.
eating bodybuilding portions. It's unbelievable. So yeah, and again, it's just to separate the parents from the child. That's the biggest one. The number one thing I've noticed about my life, right? You know what the number one thing is? Like, one of my friends, she has a daughter, and like, the daughter is like always like, "You suck. You were never there for me." Rah. She's like, the mother's like, "Yeah, I was too busy working to put like a roof over your head." But I realized, like, you know what, kids, they don't need money. They don't need fashionable clothes. All they need is love. They need love from the parents, and the parents are so bad at doing that. That's the only thing the kid needs is love. My brother's children,
Mhm.
they are homeschooled, and they are completely detached from the real world, which is good. Like, they don't understand homosexuality, they don't understand transgender shit, none of that stuff. They're so sheltered, and thank God, right? Because when they turn 18, I'm like, all right, sit out now. Now it's time to radicalize you. But they don't desire any of these, you know, materialistic things. The only thing they care and desire for is the love of their parents, and they get tons of it, tons and tons and tons of it. When
Well,
I'm there too, I just never try to say anything negative to them. Like, boys, I'm a little bit harder on, but the little girl, I just always hugging her, kissing her, whatever you need. I love you. Uncle John's here. You know, she wants to show me her Disney dress collection. I'll sit there for 30 minutes, run upstairs, comes down. Now I'm Elsa. Run upstairs, come down. Now I'm Belle. I'm like, yeah, you look amazing. Just don't be a stripper. Just please don't start OnlyFans. You are amazing. You're beautiful. And I'm just giving her all the love and security and affection she needs in these pivotal ages of of her childhood. So she just feels endless amount of love, you know? And
mhm.
even when she's like 18, she's like, I don't know if, like, God forbid she fights with the parents. She's like, Uncle John, can I come stay at your house? Like, yes, here's a room here. Here's money. You just got to let me know where you're going. Like, I just need to know where you're
Mhm.
going to be, but I'm always going to be here for you. You don't need to be going. Cause, like, my cousins are fucking nuts, bro. Psychopath. And this is how crazy it is. So my cousin had a daughter, and my cousin, she's just a fucking nutbag, dude. And she didn't give the kid the love and attention she needs. And, like, I found out indirectly. I met a girl that was on Fresh and Fit, and then I saw that this girl was a stripper, and she was friends with my cousin's daughter, which I guess is like my second cousin. I don't know how that works out, but turns out now she was a stripper and she was going crazy. And my cousin is a psychopath. And yeah, just to see that happen within my family, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude. Jesus fucking Christ. You got to give them the love, man. You got to give the kids the love. If not, they're so cooked.
It's not just the love. I think it's giving them the tools they need to understand human nature too.
Hmm.
Because my dad always loved me, but he spent the time to say, they'll say this, they'll do this, they really want this, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's the psychology behind it. And he would tell me, I think it was like a saying that I don't remember, some famous person said it, but he would repeat it. He's like, okay, so like there's a beautiful woman on the beach. You heard this one? And then this man goes to her, would you sleep with me for $1 million? And she goes, okay. And then he goes, how about 100? And she goes, no, what kind of woman do you think I am? And he's like, sweetheart, we already determined that. I'm just negotiating the price. And he would tell me that since I was 12.
That's based. Yeah. It's unbelievable, and going to girls too right now, every girl that I've talked to who has done, because it's funny how the girls are like, I'm a sugar baby. I'm like, no, you're a prostitute. She's like, I don't know if this makes me a prostitute because I used to sell guys access to my pussy. I'm like, actually, that's textbook definition of a prostitute. So sure, we can give you a euphemism. You can call you sugar baby. It makes you feel better. But that has become so prevalent too. And all these girls, it's uniform. My dad worked so hard to provide a roof over our provide a roof over our head, but he was never home and he never gave me the love and attention I needed.
Yeah. See, that's the other thing. Like, there's some guys who are like, oh, I'm gonna have like 50 kids and I'll see them once in a while. I'm like, who's gonna be talking to those girls, especially every day?
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be like, well, mommy's happy with just money, so I'll just get random people to give me money. And then it's a cycle. It never ends like that.
I think the girls need you there more than the boys do.
Definitely. But the boys need meaningful, like they used to do fishing trips or go camping with their dads or do something outdoors, you go hunting, whatever. And that's when you'd be bored around the campfire and you'd sit and you'd talk. And that's when you'd have those conversations. The girls need the constant go people watching. Look at that. You see this couple, you see how he treats her, how she's dressed. This is her life, how it's going to end up, and blah, 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 blah. Like my dad would tell me about, like, he had 1 million girlfriends. He's like, I had a girlfriend from every country, blah, 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 blah. He's like, I had a Swedish supermodel girlfriend. I had with this one from Spain, this one from there. And he's like, oh, but like, I didn't marry any of them until I met your mother because she did this and this and this and this, even though she wasn't the most beautiful or the most cultured or whatever. She came from, modest background. He still married that one.
Beauty is like, if you're dating a girl, because most guys don't get any girls, they don't get any action, right? So they put such a high importance on a woman's looks. Most women are not going to be like you, where you're still attractive, even though you're almost 50. You're still very pretty. You're prettier than a lot of girls on average, right? But you're a rarity, and you did go through your little fat phase where you had to fix it. When most girls get into a fat phase and they stay there, they're just perma fat. What's more important is like you genuinely have to like that girl, like her as a person. That's what I realized about my longest and best relationship I've ever had, quite frankly, was I just genuinely liked the girl. I liked her. I respected her. She was quiet. She was smart, but she stood in the corner and she just watched everybody and they came in the room and she'd be like, that guy, be careful about that guy. She's like, that guy's good. That girl likes you. She would just decode the room for me. I wouldn't even ask her to, but she would just be like, I've just in case, this is what I've picked up on. And or she would even when it's funny, like I didn't believe her sometimes, but she's like, this guy's jealous of you. This guy is jealous of you. I can see it. Don't trust him. This guy's jealous of you. And that's the kind of like thing you need to make a relationship work, is like a useful woman who you like and respect. Because a lot of guys too, like to be honest, like if I meet a girl and she's like, yeah, I've been ran through, I'm like, I kind of don't respect you for that. Like, you just, it's like the same, like a woman who gives away her pussy easily like that is the same thing as a woman looking at a guy who like just gives out money easily to all the women. Like, oh yeah, here's 5,000 for you. Here's 3,000 for you. Here's 1,000. Girls can be like, yo, this guy has no respect for himself. Like there's zero self-respect, And so I think, yeah, like I said, the looks thing is totally overblown. Have you been watching this guy? Wes Watson.
A,
Have you
a
watched it?
little. I saw the one where Andrew Wilson like making fun of him, something about shave your arms, or is that the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny is because he is, you know, he's so like talking about I just like strippers. I like strippers. That's my type. I like strippers. Like, okay, you like chaos. You like disorganization. You like disarray. You like bad things for your life, you know? And it just cracks me up when I see people talking like that. And it's just like this guy is so lost. And this guy's like, rich and successful and retarded. you know?
It is what it is. But yeah, they did say like the Gottman, you've heard about the Gottman studies, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like this old Jewish couple and they've been
What is
studying
it? What is that?
relationships. Oh, it's an old Jewish couple. They have the Gottman Institute and they have been studying relationships for like 40 or something years. They're also a married couple and researchers, psychologists and stuff like that. And they said the number one thing for the couples that last are they are like best friends first.
Mhm,
So like
mhm.
they just like talking to each other. So if you can find someone where you like the banter is good and it's because you got to think if you're just there because they're hot, that's gonna go away.
It
And
is.
then you're gonna be stuck with this vapid hot, and then you're, you're gonna hate your life.
And then you're gonna start picking them apart. You're
Yeah,
like, I really don't like you. You're not like you're just because no matter how hot the person is, you're
you're
gonna
gonna
get
get
tired.
tired. Yeah.
You're gonna get tired of banging them.
Hmm. And that's how it always goes. So you have to think about that ahead of time. And
Mhm.
what happens with a lot of guys when they don't get a lot of girls is they never see, they don't think things through, and they'll get with like a hot girl because she's the hottest girl that they can get. They ignore the all the red flags. Single mom, hates her dad, hates children, kicks dogs. I don't know, like all of the red flags.
High body count. Do you think high body count's a red flag or no?
I think it is for both,
Agreed.
but like there's definitely a difference
There's a
between,
weighted scale for women versus men.
yeah, yeah, because women bond very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
but men learn to become more psychopathic the longer it kind of goes, because then they don't bother getting to know the person as a human, and when
Yeah,
you don't go from body to human, then it becomes easier to just use people.
I was gonna say the exact word I was gonna say is it dehumanizes the girls. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It dehumanizes. But I think everything and on the other side, women too, like, I always compare it to like a jaded war vet. Like, like the first like the guy in the military who's like, he's off to 1 to 5 people. He's like, oh, this is traumatic. This is like, I can't believe I've done that. But when you've offed like 500 people, you're like, life is just a big blur. We are inconsequential dust in this meaningless existence, And you get like just mega jaded, like a World War vet or Vietnam vet, whatever you want to choose. But yeah, it's so funny to see it like that. I and I'll tell you as a guy, like, I've gone on date with 1,000+ women. I have slept with like 300 plus. And I will tell you I'm old enough to have regrets now. And one of the things I regretted I just didn't stop sooner and choose a girl sooner and start having kids sooner. That was like my regret. That's a regret I do have now because now I'm like still, you know, having to look for like a decent one. And yeah, it's just more because what I learned is that a vetting process for a good woman is typically going to take you a bare minimum of 18 months, I think. How long did you date Mr. Khatibi when you
uh
how
Trying to remember the non-exclusively, like we were more like friends
Mhm,
for maybe about 6 months. We would
mhm,
just go to movies together, separate
mhm,
cars, leave separately, pay for ourselves. And then after that, we started dating
mhm,
maybe about another 3 months, and then after that, we were talking about marriage.
9 months.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not against that because you did it in a different time.
Oh my God, shut up.
I'm just saying, you didn't, they're like, the probability of you having an OF was literally 0%.
No, there was a probability. I had friends, not the same thing. We had different things back then. We had different things. It was called money slavery. Do you remember that? Do you know what that is? Pay pigs and stuff like that. That was a thing. So all the pretty girls that I knew, they were doing that.
Money slavery? What is that? Selling nudes?
No, you didn't have to sell anything. They would just give you money for being a female.
No, I don't care about that. What I'm talking about is I don't want to marry a woman and then find out there's videos of like a freaking big old black dude dicking her down.
Oh, no. They didn't do that. Back in the day, you just had to like.
From personal experience, by the way.
Oh God.
Dated a girl for 9. I dated a girl in Japan for we were probably dating at that point 5 months, and then I just happened to stumble upon the fact that she had an OnlyFans, and this is like so fucking rare. This is like terribly rare. But I did meet her for Tinder, so duh. And then I found this like French black dude, and he was like, and I could just see her during the video that she was just like totally regretting it. I could see it in her eyes. But that was just like an unforgivable offense for me. She begged for forgiveness. I was like, no, you can beg outside, but going back to you, like, because that was like what? Let's see. Let me do some math. So that was like 23 odd years ago. So I was in the 90s, early 2000s.
It's fine.
It's different. It was different then. You guys were probably listening to like Green Day and stuff.
No.
No?
He
Jimmy
wasn't.
World?
No. I mean, I don't remember.
I
listened to ska when I was a little kid. Happy, crazy music. Yes. So everybody's talking about my makeup. This is a chapstick that has color.
Beautiful.
And it's non-toxic. Thank you.
There you go.
So anyways, I did make a video for you, a music video.
I like your intro, by the way. It's very cool.
Yes, that's my normal intro.
It's very dystopian.
I wrote the song. I am a singer, songwriter without being a singer because I'm an AI singer. You know what I mean? So I can play your song that I made for you, which the visuals are not very good, but it's funny. Or I can show you my best work, which is a country music song.
Oh, you got me excited because you said I could show you my best work. You started touching your shirt. I was like, okay.
Stop. It's a country music song. And it's what?
I was gonna get
Did I what?
Did you paint like some Illuminati symbolage on your body? You're gonna show me an artistic artistic expression kind of way.
I am a singer. An AI singer counts, you guys. I write the songs.
Okay. Right. So we have the AI video or
it's just stock video, but it's funny.
Let's go.
Okay, but this one is not as funny. This is just like I made it for you, but I have a really funny one that is called something. Where is it? Oh, my booty could be a cash machine. Okay. So that is a really funny one. Or do you want to see this one that's about you? Like, are you narcissistic or do you want to see something funny?
I'm narcissistic.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay.
John rolling in a town, Tokyo's king, no crown, just a stare. Dating's a trash fire, he don't care. Hold my Gucci sweater, I'll fix this mess.
Oh no.
He's the warlord of love, no less. Money, muscles, game, and friends. excuses till you get your results. Put down the controller, pick up a weight. Your Tinder profile's a felony state.
This is amazing.
It's you and your bitches.
Endure, endure, don't back down, just endure. Endure, endure, grit your teeth and endure.
I love it. Is it were the images made with AI too?
No, that's stock video.
You put that together?
Mm-hmm.
You edited that video for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You are such a sweetheart. You know what I like about you?
Insanity.
I mean, close to nothing, but there is like a very. No, I'm just joking. No, I what I do like about you is the sincerity that I believe I get from you. I do believe you're sincere in everything you do, and authenticity. The number one thing I hate about fake people is like the fact that I can see they're fake. You know, I'm like, if you're going to scam me and be fake, you need to be a better scammer. You need to scam me so I don't think I'm being scammed with your nonsense behavior. But yeah, that's really something about you. I think you are genuine, and I do respect the fact that you're not a 304 because
Did you
they're
see the intro?
everywhere. No.
It says 304 Productions presents.
That's funny though. That's really funny. That's really funny. No, it's good. I think you need to say what needs to be said as well. You know. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Can I ask you about when you went viral?
Let's do it.
Okay.
I never,
So-
you know what's funny? I never planned to go viral. It was never like I'm gonna act outrageous. A lot of people think it was. Rollo Tomasi, who is very jealous of me, it was funny to say. He thinks that like, because I guess they don't know how to be naturally viral, I guess.
Mhm.
But they were saying that like I was intentionally being like this for the sake of going viral. Like I don't like you. When do I ever ask you like, hey Kat, how can I go viral? How can I go viral? When do I ever talk about going viral? You know, I just am viral. I just am good TV. I am good production, you know? So a lot of people are like, oh my God, he planned that. He was doing that. I'm like, no, I am. I am what I am.
Are you going to talk about the Endure thing? Because I put it in the song.
No, but let's talk about it.
Okay.
I stand by what I said.
Okay, so you do.
Yes.
Endure.
Because women should be lining up and singing my praises, because the majority of people who are abusive in relationships, physically
Women.
and initially, it's women.
Lesbians.
No, even in straight relationships, it's women.
Yeah, it is.
They are the ones who initiate the violence. And I said, if there's an accident and somebody were hit somebody in a relationship, I don't think that should be grounds for for termination. I think that
because you have to stipulate, because it's probably going to be the girl.
Well,
statistically.
Exactly. You know, I think it happens more than people want to admit, and people do stick together. And I think more women are hitting men than men are hitting women.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys are sticking with it, because if there's supposed to be this, this blanket of equalism on all of us, then we should all be held to the same standards and rules, Yeah. And so, but the thing that was the problem, so you're talking about the negative viral, not the positive viral. Okay. Well, the negative viral stuff, it was fake because there was no outrage in the room when I did it. If you watch the actual
Yeah,
live
I was
stream,
watching it live. Yeah.
there's no outrage. But then they clipped it and then they engineered virality from an inauthentic place. And I just never thought I would be so popular to be a target. I'm happy that I was like, these people are plotting against me. I'm like, you guys are all bums. This is hilarious. You plotting against me, you know?
It seemed very weird, and like they were trying to make it seem like something that didn't actually happen. I
Mhm.
remember there was that one where you had to leave and you're like, I have to leave and blah blah blah. And then they're like, oh, he's leaving. And then it's like he's like, you're like, oh, I'm not gonna leave because of you guys. I actually had to, and I said it before. And then they're like, oh, he stormed out.
Yeah.
We're
And
so
the reason they said I stormed out is because of Adam Sosnick was just trying to get a viral clip when at the beginning of that interview, I was like, I say literally, I have a hard out at XYZ time.
Mhm.
And then they're like, oh, he didn't want to stay. And it's funny because it's like, one, where is the fat Asian girl now? Probably at Shake Shack. And two, or Steak and Shake, right? Steak and Shake. She's eating the towel fries. And then two, again, like they just framed it to try to get a couple clicks. And I think that Valuetainment Money show is also canceled now.
It
You know, 'cause
is?
yeah, I mean, who's gonna watch Adam Sosnick? He's a talentless, like the guy's a joke. Like he's not funny, he's not
Oh my
viral,
gosh.
he's not
He
entertaining at
seems
all.
like he's on something all the time.
His own little dick is what he's on. You know, he's not funny, he's not charming, he doesn't have an edge. You know, the I'm looking at the last time they did a show like that was 5 months ago. So he's already given up. And he's riding the coattails of Patrick. Patrick Bet-David is a talented, successful guy. He's
He's
entertaining. I've met
Persian,
Patrick.
of course.
Yeah, I've met Patrick. He's a good guy. Good vibes, good energy. He met me. He met me when I was driving a Ferrari. He's like, what do you do? I was like, I'm dating coach. He's like, all right. You know? He was a cool guy. But like, yeah, Adam, Natalia, the black girl on his the black girl on his side, you know, just they have to lie, cheat, manipulate to get some clicks instead of just getting an organic
Yeah, I
organic
mean, and
video.
they were also mean to Donovan, which was like ridiculous. It didn't make any sense either.
When was that?
I don't remember, like years ago. I don't watch
Mm.
the show anymore. But like after they were mean to you and then Donovan, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, there's nobody who's interesting that's gonna go on their show anymore. They
Yeah.
kind of burned that bridge because who
Yeah.
would waste their time now?
Right. And what they did with Jedediah too is they did Jedediah dirty. And Jed she just came back today. She just came back on her episode.
Mhm.
She has her own channel now. She's doing really good. Jedediah is amazing. I love that woman. She's so smart. She's so talented, and she's so down to earth and cool and real. You know, so like that's stuff like that's just my ultimate currency is like just people down to earth, cool, real. You know, that's really what I like. That's my
Yep.
choice of
And that's what
person.
most people like.
Yeah. You
I
know?
mean, there are those people that do like to watch like the train wrecks, people who make fun of other people to
Mhm.
get clicks. They do get popular sometimes. It does
Mhm.
happen. But
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to have long because I mean, how does it feel like if people are not coming to see you but see you talk about somebody who's actually doing something with their life?
Yeah.
To trash them when you've done nothing.
Well, that's what I say. Like people like Adam Sosnick, like what is he known for other than
He's-
like screwing people over and like really like, and there's the whole like anti-Jew thing going on right now. Like he's just really not helping with that stereotype, you know? So just again, like what does he bring to the table? Like he's Patrick Bet-David's lapdog, you know? There's not like no really like massively viral moment. Like he doesn't have big fans. Like, oh man, I love that. Like he doesn't have based fans. Like if
He's
you have
got
based fans,
haters.
Yeah.
Haters.
yeah. if you don't have based fans, you like suck as a content creator, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Like, I make all my like when all my guys want to come do a meetup with me now, I'm like, day one, you have to like fist fight. Like, you're gonna fight a stranger when you come to my meetups. If not, you're not coming to the meetup. I don't. Somebody told me like, what if you have a medical condition? I'm like, go see your fucking doctor. Like, you're not you ain't got no place at my table. Sorry, you know. So here we are.
Yes. Do you
Here
gotta
we are.
go?
My show start. I'm 41 minutes for my show. 41 minutes late for my show. But we've been going an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to talk to you until the sun goes down. I'd love to stare in your dreamy eyes in real life one day, and talk to you about the nothingness of life together.
All right. So let's see. One last question. Well,
Let's hear it.
all right. I think you, well, that's not a question. I think you should stop. I think you should really do like make a chain of like teaching guys how to be men, right? Make a little like how they do, like when people are trying to get off alcohol, they have to stay in the house until they get sober. Do this, you have to stay in this house until we say you're a man. You have to be able to get a girl's phone number, get her to go on a date with you, make X amount of money, get a job, get enough money for your own apartment, whatever, like a halfway house. Like, this is what you need to do to become a man.
Mhm.
We need that, because the guys out there, they're like beta, or they're checked out, or they're playing video games checked out, or they're on the internet on corn checked out, or whatever. Like, they're just not present. I don't see like good parents. They're not good dads like there used to be. Like in the community, they used to be hanging out, watching all the kids, whatever. And the women and children were in la la land, while the men were like hawks looking at everything. The men checked out.
Yep.
And the women, nervous wrecks on every sort of pill. So you got to do it. You got to do it like a McDonald's in every corner. We need one.
Yeah. It's so true. It's so true. Like I look at it. You ever watch X-Men?
Yeah.
Like, Xavier's School for the Gifted, but I need a lot of money. That's the problem.
I feel like you could raise the money.
Yeah. Because what I do when I have them come to my houses, like when we do the living experiences, we did a beta test, a 3-day living experience. No fast food, no booze in the house allowed, no bullshit, no negativity. And then we eat clean food, focus on self-development, and just being good vibes and stuff. It was really successful. It was the Orlando. If you watch on my channel, there's an Orlando house documentary channel. A documentary episode, the Orlando Mega Mansion experience.
Mm-hmm.
That was really a good test. Let me see if I can pull it up. I can show you. Yeah, Orlando Mega Mansion 2024 documentary. I could show it to your audience. Like, this is this one here. As you can see, this is when we fought. We had the Fight Club there going. That's day one. But then we had like a bunch of different presentations and about fitness, about self-esteem and stuff. And then we're doing another one here in Hawaii. I'll be in Hawaii in 9 days. Thank God to get out of this winter. Gonna go to Miami. Or not Miami, excuse me, Hawaii. Gonna go to Miami next. But gonna go to Hawaii and then have the time of our lives. And we're going to film a documentary there. It's going to be so amazing. Super amazing.
Nice. How many guys do you have going?
We have, this one's more of a VIP experience, so it's a smaller amount of guys. But this one has 11 people attending. So.
Okay. Do you tell them like to avoid estrogen mimickers?
Yes.
Like beer?
Yes.
And all that stuff, and plastics,
as much as possible.
You need to have like a little health part of that experience. Take them to test their testosterone levels and their
No,
estrogen
for real.
levels.
You're dead. You're dead ass. You're dead ass right. You're dead ass right. No, we're working. We're cooking on it for sure. We are working. We are working. We are cooking.
Okay, yes, a fight club. See, this is what people really need in this world. We need
Yeah.
this.
That's what it is. Really, it is Fight Club.
I think we need one for women too, like a what's it called? Keep your legs closed club. Like, you know, it's just like a woman and then different guys coming up with fistfuls of cash and she has to say no. No ring, no. And then she's like, oh, well, that's a lot of money. It's like, no. And you just zap her.
So you put an electric dog collar on her. And zap her.
And then we'd fix everything. You see?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's
Anyways,
true.
well,
It's true. We need it. And that's actually the premise of what we're doing is Fight Club. That's what I want to do. Have you seen the movie Fight Club?
of course, I was old.
What I want to do. I want to have multiple cells. You know, it was my idea that I had since 2019, but I didn't execute on it because I was too busy. Just the business was blowing up, and you know, I didn't know what to do with everything. But now things have slowed down a little bit because of the shadow banning across the board with all this masculine self-development stuff. Because the bottom line is this, you know, nothing gets better unless men get violent. And that's why the war is against men, not women. They're doing their damnedest to try and control men.
Using women.
Yeah, easily. Easiest way.
Well, anyways, I wish you luck and have fun on your stream now.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for coming with us. And everybody, like, subscribe, all the things to John, to me, to each other, and have a great night. Bye.
You better